Hello and welcome back to the Shropshire Garden. Here the bluebells are looking absolutely fantastic and amazing in our front lawn, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I think I need to let them die back down before I can actually even mow this lawn, and I think I'm going to have a job on my hands because they are going to need trimming back once all the foliage has died back and they've all turned brown. So I think I've got a few more weeks before I can actually start to maintain this lawn, but just at the moment we are just really enjoying the magnificence that is these mixed bluebells. Of course we have the blue bluebells and some white bluebells, and they've mixed together and formed also some pink bluebells. So this really is a bit of a bluebell lawn at the moment. April has been very mixed weather. We really have had the definition of April showers. May, it's sort of mid-May at the moment, and it's been the same. Today we've had some rain, and it's also, the sun's come out now, and it is rather glorious. So the plan is to take you on a tour of the garden as it is, and then get on with some jobs that really do need doing. So I thought we would start our garden tour here in the front garden in the Bluebell Meadow. And as you can see, they are absolutely gorgeous. They are all self-seeded. The previous owner did tell me that one day they just sort of woke up and here they all are. And the magnificent, beautiful cherry blossom tree is losing its blossom, but it really is beautiful. It kind of cascades down looking like snow. So that's really beautiful. But back to the meadow. Like I say, I'm going to have to wait until all of the goodness in the leaves and the foliage dies back and goes back into the bulb. You shouldn't ever cut them, any bulb, unless everything has died back. So once all the foliage is yellow, that'll be the time when I can get the strimmer out. I can trim first and then mow, and then I will do some lawn care on here. I just don't have the heart to trim it right now. This beautiful azalea, now I planted this last autumn, and I did it partially to hide and disguise that little air vent over there by the wall, but also to balance out the rose. Now this rose going up here, I don't know what it is. I inherited it when we moved in, but it does have a gorgeous colour. So I'm hoping the two colours will balance out either side of the door. The roses that I planted around the border are doing very well. Now these were moved from my previous home and they have all survived, and I expect them to take at least 2 to 3 years to fully establish here in the front garden. So the plans for this garden are to keep it very, very, very naturalistic. I want to plant some more sort of springtime bulbs, and for the summer planting, apart from the roses, they are all David Austin roses. Apart from the roses, I want to have some complementary planting that looks very naturalistic. So if we go over and take a look at the bird feeding station. By the way, I did patch this lawn and all the seed has taken. So it's mixed in with all this cherry blossom, but it has taken. Now I may have to build up the level again, I'm not entirely sure. But what I planted has taken. So the bird feeding station is doing well. I need to top up the feed station. One of our cats thought that the lower feeding bowl, mainly for floor feeding birds like robins, was for cats, and they actually ate some peanuts and then sit them up. So I haven't put anything further in there until I sort it out. The bird feeders need sorting as well. I need to top those up. And you can see some of the plants that I planted in the border are doing well, including some of the things that I moved from the back garden. I moved these clumps, and these are forget-me-nots, and they're doing very, very well. The primroses are also growing, and I expect a really good display from those next year. So if we just take a look over at the roses that I moved, they are doing very well. For the first year, having been moved quite abruptly, they are doing well. So I just need to find some complementary planting, and then that will be it for the meadow. I'm afraid it's that time of the year where all the pots, especially if you've planted bulbs in the pots, are looking a bit tired and sad and spent. So I have deadheaded. I need to cut a bit off, but again, it's the same rule. You need to wait until all this foliage dies back. We've still got a little bit of colour coming through. I think these are violas. Violas or pansies, I can't quite remember. So these need to all die back, and then I will leave it and see if it comes again next year. Moving on to this front border here, where the driveway is. I do have plans for this. This is very natural at the moment. I haven't planted anything new in here. Again, we have forget-me-nots. I think we've got some aquilesias. The fuchsia bush that I pruned is coming back. This is a hardy fuchsia. And last year it came out all the way over to the driveway, so I gave it a really good hard prune. But I do want to take a lot of this stuff up, possibly replant some of the plants, and then I'd like to put in some new spring bulbs. So again, I want to keep this area very naturalistic. Now here I am in the back garden next to the bird bath, and the cats have really enjoyed drinking out of this bird bath, so I have kept it topped up with some water. I'm going to give you a tour now of the back garden and tell you about some upcoming plans that are going to take place really soon. But first, before I do, I want to start with the utility area, which is right next door to the shed. So I do have some plants that I need to plant, and these are going to get planted this month. I've had a rhododendron culsap, which is a shrub and grows up to 1.75 meters. I've had this all over winter, and I can't wait to plant it. I need to plant it where we're going to use up some of our slabs. Next, I have this gorgeous little plant here, another shrub, and I'm hoping that's going to help to fill out a border, but I haven't selected a really good spot for that one yet. Also, I have bought, now this is not in this pot, I just put it there for some safety. This is an Acer. I grew lots of acers in my previous garden. This is Acer Going Green. I had it from Morrison's. It was £3.49, small of size, but I need to get some different compost. You should always use ericaceous compost for acers. So don't be mistaken, they do like ericaceous compost. They much prefer it. And we have some very special roses. So Matt's dad actually grew these from cuttings, and this one here in this pot is from a bush that was planted when Matt was first born. So it's a commemorative bush, and it's still alive in his childhood home, and this is a cutting from it. So I need to find a really good spot for that. I've left it in the cardboard box for protection from the frost, but also to harden it off. The one next to it is a different rose that they have in their garden, and it's beautiful. I can't really describe it. It's just such a beautiful flower, and the colour is magnificent. And I've been admiring it for a few years now, and he's grown me a cutting, so or taken a cutting, and it's grown. So I can't wait to plant those. Now, those of you who are wondering where I keep my seed, I will show you. This is just an ordinary dust bucket, and I keep all my seed in it. So we've got the peanuts, we've got the mealworm, we've got the regular seed, and we've got some of the pellet blocks, the suet blocks. So that's where I keep all of those, and I keep a brick on it to stop it from blowing off. Right, a new addition are these beautiful big pots. Now, these are not terracotta pots, they are plastic. But they were a bargain, £22 from Morrison's each. I've had some holes drilled in them, and they're going to be fantastic. But I need to find a suitable plant or tree or something to go in them. They are rather large, so I want something that's evergreen, possibly something that's a standard, and something that has flower and possibly scent. So I'm not asking for much. So any suggestions, please let me know. The wind's picking up a bit now. So as you can see, the first look at the garden, I'm trying to cover the microphone so we don't have as much wind noise. Like I say, the weather has been so changeable these past 2 months. We have literally had most of the weather conditions on any given day. Rained earlier, so I do need to mow the lawn. As I said, all of the bulbs are looking pretty much the same. All of the containers are looking like this. I have weeded this border here going all the way along. So my final tally, I think I've lost about 6 of the plants that were supposed to come back every year. Oh, have you seen these in my previous video? These boxes, I can't remember if I showed you them, but I've got 4 cone boxes. Again, quite inexpensive, bought from a supermarket, and there they are. No, it wasn't a supermarket, it was B&M. I do tell a lie. So I need to find some more. I can't remember which ones have actually died. We have had a bit of slug damage. In fact, I did see the culprit the other day. So I do need to find something that's not going to harm the cats to control the slugs. But I did kind of go over the soil. I did some weeding. It's really good quality soil. But I've got a gap here. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I need about 6 plants. This is not going to be the final position for this obelisk. I actually there's another one over there. That's not going to be its final position either. I've got another 2 and I don't really know where to put them. So we'll work that out in a little bit. There I am in the gorgeous mirror next to my nan's bench. Again, I mean, there is some kind of beauty in decay, I suppose, but they are looking like they need a good tending to. So I will cut off the tops, I will cut off the flower heads, and leave the foliage just to die back. I think that's very important. The table I've cleaned several times on this patio, and it keeps getting dirty, basically. Lots of dust and lots of pollen in the air, but it is easy to keep clean, to be honest. So in the border next to the fence over here, we have a few self-grown bluebells. And again, the roses are doing quite well that I planted. Most of these I moved from the old house. I mean, this is looking fantastic. Just look at this, it's beautiful. And when it rains, it collects the water droplets and it looks absolutely fantastic. I did plant eventually these magnolias. So there's a magnolia here, and there is a magnolia just over there in the corner, so they will grow quite tall. The rose walk is looking very full at the moment. I am still 2 rose bushes from the rose walk short of what I actually need to complete the look. So the idea was to have, I mean, it's probably the world's smallest rose walk, but I wanted a rose walk. They're all David Austin. I need to do my lawn edges as well. But as you walk down, we need another 2 roses for these gaps here, and then it will be completed. This needs staining. I do have the stain, so I can do the bench. Again, it's another grandparent's bench that I've inherited, so I do really want to take care of that. We've moved it further over because one of our cats that you can see in the corner, Bo, was standing on the top and jumping on the fence and jumping over, and he can't get back. So we've had to move it forward so that he can't do that. But aren't the roses looking beautiful? I know I'm going to have to do some rose care, but I do love actually caring for roses. I know it can be quite labour intensive with roses. You have to feed them, mulch them, prune them, try and control any pests. But I actually quite enjoy it, especially the deadheading of the flowers. I do love it. The daffodils are in the same position as all the other bulbs. They've lost all their heads now. So I'm just going to let them die back. That's basically the premise of it. We've got a buddleia in the corner that's really growing. I need to do something here because I haven't tied it onto the fence because we need to stain the fence. So I didn't want to tie it up yet. Again, we've got another buddleia. I haven't weeded in this bed here, so I need to do that. The orange blossom looks like it's going to come into flower. And this little grass clump here, now, the cats do chew this to help them with their digestion. So it hasn't really grown. Anything that grows gets munched. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to have to grow some special cat grass to stop them from doing it. But anyway, it should be a lot bigger than that, I think, this time of the year. Now this border, the plants in this border, the shrubs, are filling out really, really, really nicely. So eventually I want to bark as well along here. The euphorbias are looking resplendent. There are 3 euphorbia plants. I don't know, I'm probably going to have to separate them at some point, but I did plant them to make almost an immediate full clump, and they really do. I mean, just look at these gorgeous heads. They are really beautiful, and they really brighten up a border. So that's looking really, really good. The hydrangea limelight in the corner is growing as well, and also one of my other roses that I've moved is down there too. And we can see Bo. This is one of the culprits from the munching of the grasses. I think he's seen a spider that's coming. But whilst Bo is playing with the spider, I'll talk to you about upcoming plans. So these slabs, I kept them. They were inherited as part of the old garden, and I am going to use them. So if I just show you, this is the base that was supposed to be for a greenhouse. It's too small. We have actually ordered a greenhouse now. It is coming in a few weeks. So at the end of this week, this base is going to be enlarged so that I can walk all the way around it. So I think the greenhouse is 6'3" wide by 10'4" long. So the base has to be wider than that. So it is going to be quite a considerable base. So hopefully I can use up as many of those slabs as possible and then reclaim that area. And then that is where I want to plant the rhododendron and other plants that I've got, and then bark that area as well. So greenhouse is coming, and I can't wait to show you that in a separate vlog. So that's why I've kind of combined April and May, because not a lot has happened apart from the bulbs sort of dying down and there being a massive bluebells in the front lawn. So I will do another vlog towards probably the end of May. So this is going to be extended, and then obviously for next year the plans are what to do with the lawn. I think I want to reshape the lawn, possibly into a circle. I think I spoke about this before, so that I can have mixed vegetables that we're going to use in cooking mixed in with the flowers, and then you can sort of garden from either side of the circle. Well, that's the plan, but I think we need to see the greenhouse in situ before we make that decision. So next year's project is probably going to be reshaping the lawn and getting some planting done. I also, at the end of this year, well, by the end of this year, hope to get some kind of pergola over the patio over there, and obviously stop the cats from jumping over the fences. But anyway, that's the plan for this year, is basically greenhouse. And then for next year, I can start to propagate a lot of the plants that I'm going to plant in the garden. But the weather is really nice at the moment, and I do need to get the mower out and mow. And I also need to do some more weeding. I might do some time lapses for you and some deadheading. And of course, you can do exactly the same for the daffodils as well. And there we have the spoils of my labour. Actually, not as much as what I thought. This is from all of the pots, front and back, and all of the daffodils down the side border. So actually, not a lot, but it's made a lot of difference. If you just have a look at the pots now, even though they're still decaying, it just makes them look a lot more neat and tidy. So, and also if you cast your eye over the daffodils, everything just looks a lot more tidy. So my next job is, of course, to mow the lawn. This really needs doing in preparation to make it easier for the base to be laid as well. And there we have the lawn, freshly mowed. I had it on the highest setting. I'm not going to win any prizes for my lines, but it will do the job, and it looks a lot more neat and tidy. Plus, I quite like the grass a little bit longer for all the wildlife. We do have frogs from tadpoles that turn into baby frogs, and they do sometimes come across here. And I do try and not to mow when they are crossing. As soon as I notice them, I don't mow. So anyway, I am using a Greenworks mower. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll leave it linked. But there we go. That is the final bit of work until the greenhouse base is laid. Thank you for watching this vlog today. In the next vlog, you will see a greenhouse behind me. I can't wait to share with you the changes that are going to happen in this garden this year, within the next couple of months, to be quite honest. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the video, if you could like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to the channel. So from me, until next time, from the Shropshire Garden, to you all, and goodbye.